Detroit Lions fans, Detroit did 313, Stephen Will. It's been a long evening, and then I've made Steve's evening even longer, but it's worth it. I don't care. There is no raining on the parade this evening, but please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to become a member so you can win some stuff. But Steve, we're going to start this one off a little bit odd. There's some dues to be paid around here, so I'm gonna bring in my son, none other than Kingston. Kingston, come on in. Kingston has some things that he wants to say to the people out there in Detroit Dead 313. Kingston, come on in. Put your hat on, buddy. Put your hat on. Hat on.
Hmm. Oh, are we converting? Are we converting to a Lions fan now?
No, I'm not.
What
Kingston, I got this jug. It's just full.
Beat the Lions.
This jug is just full of Kingston tears. It's just full. I told let's see how they taste. Just perfect. They taste just absolutely perfect.
Well, what do you have to say?
The Lions beat the Ravens.
Who's the better team?
The Ravens.
Who was right?
The Ravens.
Who was right?
You.
Oh, Dad was right. Dad was right. There's one more thing, Steve. So I'm a guest today on today's show. So you'll have to load up the pictures, but I want to just set the table for what you're gonna pop in and let the people see. Today at the game, Kirby Joseph before the game was awesome enough to come up to the stands and sign some stuff for a few people. So Kingston, show him your hat. So Kingston had his Baltimore Ravens stuff on. He asked him, he said, wait a second, are you a Detroit Lions fan? He said, yes, I am. I am also a Detroit Lions fan. He's like, do you have any gear or anything? He's like, yes, I have a hat. And he said, you know what? I got a better hat. And he gave him the hat off of his head. So was that pretty cool?
Yes.
He gave him the hat off his head and signed it. So that was sticking cool. Kirby Joseph, man, made my son's night, made the night of our family. Emily was super pumped too. And I think you may have converted him. I think he was probably about 70-30 now. I think he might be 60-40 now. Probably 60% going to the Lions. Bye, boy, get out of here. But to the business, Steve. To the business. Where are we going with this thing? What's going on?
I think we just found our next giveaway for our memorabilia, that signed Kirby Joseph hat. We got to get that to a real Detroit Lions fan. That's what I'm thinking. A little bit surprised, Will. A little bit surprised that the Detroit Lions handled business in the way that they did today. All right. It was an offense that could not be stopped. Could not be stopped today. Just marching up and down the field. Expected a shootout, got a shootout, got some timely defensive stops, Will. I don't know. You want to start offense, defense? You want to start with why I'm wearing black to the Ravens funeral? What do you want to start with, Will?
Steve, there's so much. I guess I will start offensively. You're right. Could not be stopped. Could not be stopped. I got to tip my hat to Coach Morton. Coach Morton, I sent you a text, Steve, and I said, Ben who? Ben who? He did everything that Ben could do, and then he put a little sauce on it because he never fell asleep, and which is something that I've said over and over again. Ben is notorious for falling asleep. So that fourth down, Steve, that fourth down play was some of the nastiest stuff I've seen in a long time.
You're going to have to be more specific on fourth down plays.
The clutch one at the end where he handed it off to Amon-Ra St. Brown and then had Amon-Ra St. Brown pitch it to Jahmyr Gibbs. That was just nasty, man. That was a nasty play call. I had to tip my hat to him. And obviously that wasn't the only one. He threw the trick play in there. And then just play calls throughout the day. I just thought Coach Morton did a phenomenal job. I would have to give him an A+, and I think we've probably given out one or two of those in our whole 3 years podcasting. So I got to give him an A+ today. Am I crazy? How you feel?
I don't give out A+ anymore, Will. The last time I did that was the 2024 NFL draft, and I'm still licking my wounds over that one. So I'm going to be careful when I hand out A+, but I'll hand out an A. I'll hand out a solid A. And I'll tell you where Ben Johnson is. He's been out of my mind. He's been Chicago's problem the last couple of weeks. So thank God he's gone. We got exactly what we talked about. We got an offensive coach that's exploiting weaknesses in another team's defense. I think that they saw that they were light up front. They saw that the Detroit Lions are going to be physical in the trenches. We can dominate the run game. We're just going to run it down your face. We're just going to line up and run the football right down your face. 38 total carries today, 224 yards. I'll round up and call it 6 yards per carry. 6 yards per carry in the NFL is top tier. That's about as good as it's going to get. 4 total touchdowns on the ground today. And don't get confused. At one point, Will, I texted you and said, we didn't even have a conversation about Jared Goff, I should say, potentially having more rushing yards than Lamar Jackson in this game, because at one point it was close and Lamar could have stretched that out a little bit, but he only got Jared Goff beat by 29 yards. That's like one run for Jared Goff, if I'm being honest with you. So I mean, it was a lot closer than I think a lot of people thought. But Johnny Morton taking care of business on the ground, lining up, knowing that we're better up front than the Baltimore Ravens defensive front. Hat on a hat, playmakers, hitting home runs, long runs. I think we just took advantage of it. We didn't really need the trick plays. I think taking care of business was just running the football. Recipe, first ingredient of the cake, run the football.
You nailed it. I don't even want to say anything else, Steve. You absolutely nailed it. There's nothing more to be said. It was a day. It was an offensive day, and I enjoyed every second of it.
And the second piece of that recipe, hey, if you're going to block in the run game, we blocked in the pass game too. Jared Goff wasn't touched today. Wasn't touched. He only got grass on his jersey because he scrambled like a madman for a couple plays and ended up having to slide. That's where his one grass stain came from. So absolutely clean game from Jared Goff, clean pocket the whole game. Not too many pressures. I think at one point I saw a graphic that there was only 3 pressures on Jared Goff. That's elite. That's elite run blocking, elite pass blocking. You're doing that for the Detroit Lions. You're going to have a tough time covering us.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. Hopefully we keep this thing going, man, because we're looking like week 1 was a fluke, and we alluded to it in the podcast. You know, the pregame podcast. That's what we thought it was gonna be. You know, takes a second for guys to gel and get their sea legs up under them, especially when they haven't played all preseason. Now this thing's clicking, it's rolling. Are we going to face some adversity throughout the season? Of course we are. But we've shown what this offense still is. I'm not going to say what we have become. No, we've shown what this offense still is. And we're ascending, man, because we still got guys, you know, that we've added to this thing that are going to make it better, younger, bigger, faster, stronger. Now they just got to get to that level of that being football savants, so to speak, that level of football knowledge that really can take them to the next level. The young guys like Christian Mahogany, Tate Ratledge, Isaac Tesla, you know, these are guys that are going to have to learn the NFL game of football before they can really take their game to the next level. But as they do, this offense is only going to get better, Steve.
William, let me just throw something at you.
Talk to me.
Does the number 45 mean anything to you?
45. Talk to me. What you got?
That's the number of points that the Detroit Lions have averaged the last 2 weeks. Take it with a grain of salt against the Chicago Bears. Come into Baltimore, you hang 38. 52 last week, 38, 90, 45 points a game the last 2 weeks. Well, it's still early. Do I think we're going to average 45 points a game throughout the season? Probably not. I think, or 45, sorry. Do I think it'll be somewhere around 33, 35? Yes. Are we going to be a hard team to score that many points against? Yes, because flowing into the defense, Will, if I had woke up this morning and you had texted me and just said, hey, the Detroit Lions are going to have 7 sacks today, I would have said, I don't know how the Baltimore Ravens score any points. I don't know with 7 sacks how you score any points if we're getting 7 sacks. They made plays. I loved the defense, Kelvin Shepard, game ball. There was just some stuff. We're not going to nitpick yet. We'll get into that later in the week. But I feel like that game should have been put away a lot earlier, and that's offensively, defensively, some timely mistakes, some timely penalties. But the defensive line today, I don't want to take it away and try to sugarcoat or make it sound bad because it was belt to ass. 7 sacks by 6 different players. I think we found our starting defensive end opposite of Aiden Hutchinson and El-Kadim Muhammad. Aiden Hutchinson also having a sack and a forced fumble. Just absolute nightmare for Lamar Jackson. And I did not forecast that at all. That was not even on my radar. I said if we could get 2 sacks, maybe we'd have a decent chance. 7, I think we made them one-dimensional. I think we took away a lot of their big-time players. I think we handicapped them defensively, but there was some coverage stuff in the first half that I didn't love. But overall, solid game. I'll give Calvin Shepard an A as well.
Yeah, I got to give Coach Shep an A as well. I love how he had, and I'm gonna use your term here just because I wanted to give you some flowers, waves of pass rushers, but really what I want to use is levels of pass rushers. It seems like as Lamar stepped up in the pocket, he had to deal with somebody else, whether it was, or if he had to step outside and try to, get free and escape the pocket, he had to deal with a wave of a guy coming at him. So I love what Coach Shep did. He said he wasn't getting much sleep. It paid off. That lack of sleep paid off. He had Lamar Jackson guessing oftentimes. Now, as we said in the podcast, did he make some plays? Hell yeah, he did. This dude is an MVP caliber player. We knew that he was going to make some plays, but he didn't get to show up and show out like he normally does. And I gotta put that as a win in Coach Shep's column here. And I don't know. I gotta give it not only a win over the Baltimore Ravens. I gotta give him a win over Coach Glenn, because Coach Glenn was the DC in 2023. And I'm not one of these people that don't like Coach Glenn. I think Coach Glenn is a hell of a defensive coordinator, hell of a defensive mind. But the Ravens in 2023 did whatever they wanted. Today, Lamar was having a tough time figuring out what to do with the Detroit Lions. So, again, hats off to Coach Shep. Super proud of that defense and what they were able to put together today. Derek Barnes getting in the mix, doing some stuff. I loved what we saw, and although he wasn't super disruptive as far as a pass rush situational stuff, I love what we saw out of Lacey. I love what we saw out of DJ Reader. DJ Reader was tough today. It was one time where Lamar Jackson was getting ready to escape, and DJ Reader looked fast. Fast.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about fast.
Okay. Quick, I'll say. Quick. Maybe not fast. Quick. He looked quick, man. He quickly closed the gap, clipped the ankles of Lamar Jackson and got him down. But there was guys. It made me feel like instead of, it wasn't necessarily stunt games. I feel like these guys had rush lanes, and they stayed in their rush lanes, and it was just beautiful to watch. I cannot wait to get to all 22 film and try to break down and figure out what the game plan was exactly, because I think that Coach Shep just did something special.
Just looking at the box score, Lamar Jackson, longest rush of the day, 13 yards. I can live with that all day. And I think that was on one play, the only play of the game where I think we did over pursue. Stepped up. We were in man coverage. There was no one even looking toward him. He got a first down and had to get out of bounds. So I can live with one play of 13 yards from Lamar Jackson. He made some throws. He had a couple throws to Mark Andrews, one for a touchdown. Alex Anzalone, great coverage. Snuck it in there. Touchdown. What can you do? He's an MVP. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. We said on our pregame show, can't contain Lamar. I think we did contain Lamar. I think we made him very uncomfortable. I think we had some coverage sacks. I think we had some just straight pressure sacks. I think we had some late delayed blitzes where some guys were like, okay, hey, I don't want him getting loose. I'm going. If he makes a throw, he makes a throw, but I can make a play here. I think we did a damn good job of containing Lamar Jackson. I think we gave some teams some blueprints. Is that something we've ever said about the Detroit Lions defense, is saying, hey, try some of this stuff against Lamar. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But I think that's one of the more better defensive games I've seen against Lamar Jackson, and he's one to watch. Like, he's a guy I like watching on Sundays. I like watching those Sunday night games. I'm like, hey, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen going at it. This is going to be some good quarterback play. I want to sit back and watch this. I thought that we absolutely gave some teams some film to study up on Lamar, and we made him very, very uncomfortable. I don't think I've ever seen Lamar look uncomfortable. I don't know if you could see from the sidelines, they kept showing him on camera, frustrated. After plays, if he threw a ball in the dirt, they'd pan to his face and you could just see some frustration. Something I really just haven't seen from Lamar Jackson. But I still think that the Ravens are one of the better teams in the AFC. Maybe we run it back in the Super Bowl, Will. Maybe we do.
It's funny, Steve. There was a couple of Ravens fans that said that exact same thing. Hey, we'll see you in the Super Bowl. Hey, we'll get you back in the Super Bowl. Hey, listen, if we ran into those guys in the Super Bowl, I'd be more than happy to run it back in a competitive football game. I know that it's not going to be easy, but Coach Campbell has said it 1 billion times. He wants the best. Whoever's the hot team that season, that's who he's going to want. So I'm not going to shy away from those guys. But just like before the podcast, nothing but respect for those guys. Baltimore fans have been nothing but awesome. They've been. I think there's been an amazing level of hospitality from the Baltimore fans, but I do think that it probably stems from they know that we don't have to see each other in any pertinent game until the Super Bowl, so it's easy to kind of be nice. But it was a little bit of fun banter, but it wasn't like that Green Bay, Chicago, Minnesota. Like, I just don't like you. We're not friends. I don't want to walk on the same sidewalk as you. It wasn't that. It was like, hey, I think I was telling you because we were delayed coming on their way out, as you know, we were given that belt to ass. It was a couple of the people were like, hey man, if you go to this gate, your son will be able to get some signatures and stuff like that, which he was also able to do, man. So he had a day, man. He got some Ravens signatures on his Ravens hat. He got Kirby Joseph's signature. We got to see Jahmyr Gibbs and Monterey St. Brown on the way out. It was just an awesome football day for Kingston. So super pumped for him, man. Everything came together. It was phenomenal.
How was the crowd Lions wise? Was there a lot of Lions fans there?
So, Steve, there was somebody that put in the comments. Number one, I don't understand why they even took what we said into it. Like, we said that we were going to come take over M&T. Like, I don't remember us ever saying that. So that was a little bit confusing why they said that we need to get our facts straight and do some research.
I'd have to rewatch the episode because I don't recall saying that either.
Yeah, but all I remember saying is I know that there will be friends there. And Steve, I'll tell you this. There was a lot of friends there. Now, did we take over M&T? No, not even close. Wasn't even close to a thing. But I will say, behind the Detroit Lions where we sat, there was a lot of friends, and it was very blue over there. It was the bluest part of the stadium. Now, when we looked around the stadium, there was no problem locating, some blue areas here and there. But it was purple. Like they represented, and they had a strong representation for their team. And by no means did we go take over M&T like we've taken over some places, but we were heard. I'll tell you that. We were heard and we were represented well. And they hightailed it out of there once things started to get out of hand. But I don't even want to really talk crap about Baltimore, man, because like I said, most, like 99% of those guys were classy, congratulating you on their way out, joking a little bit about Kingston having his Raven stuff on, and us being a Detroit Lions family and stuff like that. But it was by no means disrespectful or anything like that. But we were well represented, Steve.
We talked yesterday about this being a marquee win for the Detroit Lions. In my opinion, I think that this is probably the second biggest win in the Dan Campbell area in a regular season. It's going to be hard to beat that opener against the Kansas City Chiefs a couple years ago. I know we were a different team then, but we were a team that we didn't even know what we were going to have that season. It's 1A, 1B for me. And what makes it so close is we had a couple drives today, William, where it was just imposing on our will. Like, it was just, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to go 98.5 yards. We're going to show you the definition of execution. We're going to march down the field. We're not going to get a monster chip play. We're going to get 12 here, 13 here, 5, 6, 4. We're just going to chip away and take 10 minutes off the clock and just go on a drive in the second quarter. And that's where I said, if the Lions end up winning this game, that drive is going to be, in my opinion, one of the best Detroit Lions drives I think I've ever seen as a fan. Like 98 yards without even missing a beat. Like one of the more impressive drives. And I think we had another one of like 96, something like that. Like just could not be stopped, Will. So where would this rank for you in your Dan Campbell wins, not counting playoffs?
That's tough. I got a lot of respect for the Baltimore Ravens. I also understand that they're missing Metabuke and Calvinoy. Now, no disrespect to Calvinoy, they were replacing him with Mike Green, which is a heck of a football player. Young, still learning, but heck of a football player. So that's almost a wash. And in the NFL, there's no excuses. We were a team that was decimated with injuries and found a way to be 15-2. So I'm not going to allow them to have any excuses, but I will say I'm going to take into account those two key players being out today. So I'm not going to call it a full benchmark victory because for those reasons. I'm going to put a little asterisk by it in my mind because of those reasons. I'm just labeling it as a victory against a freaking good football team. Right? And I can't, I'm not going to rank it. Yeah, I'm not going to rank it super crazy high. Am I thrilled that we did it? I am. Do I think that is special? I do. But it's just another victory in our journey to trying to win a Super Bowl. So I can't rank it anywhere. It's just on to the Cleveland Browns because
I had to change your name to Mike Tirico here. We're throwing out asterisks, Will. You're not going to get a single tear shed from Stephen Will for getting a little banged up. I don't care. Hey, came in, belted as MVP candidate, a coach who's been in Baltimore for 18 years, Derrick Henry, Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever put pads on as a running back. You want to use the word asterisk, Will? Are you absolutely nuts?
I got to put the asterisk by it, man. And I got to, if I'm Dan Campbell, I'm going to remind the boys that this is a huge win. They did have arguably one of the best players in the NFL currently, if not the best, but you're crazy. But but at the same time, they were missing some key players. And just like you said, Jared Goff was able to stay upright darn near the whole football game. I think part of the reason why he was is because they were missing two of their pivotal D-line players. So at the end of the day, I think if they have those players, this football game may be a different football game. Am I saying that we're going to lose the game because they have those players? Absolutely not. I'm just putting some respect on them missing two marquee guys. But at the end of the day, Steve, we're going to play a Cleveland Browns team that I think is super underrated. They just beat the Green Bay Packers, who mopped the floor with us 13-10. All right, so we got to figure out a way to be able to stop teams like the Cleveland Browns or stop the Green Bay Packers next time we see them like the Cleveland Browns did. It's not going to be a cakewalk, our offense going against the Cleveland Browns. There's no breaks on this schedule. So I guess really what I'm trying to say is I don't really have time to label this thing as a benchmark win as much as I want to. I think that's going to be us highlighting inside the den and reflecting on the season and talking about, which victories we enjoyed the most after we talk about the Super Bowl run. But right now, I'm just worried about the Cleveland Browns, man, on to the next one, because they're Jim Schwartz and Myles Garrett and the boys are going to be trying to take Jared's head off. And I think that that's going to be another problem that we got to deal with immediately. There's no freebies.
Yeah, short week. They got a day up on us, us having to play tonight on Monday Night Football. They're already one day into their prep. We got to travel home, have a rest day, and then get into our prep. So they got a leg up on us there. Their defense, no joke, not to get into the Browns yet, but I think they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. They have one of the best pass rushers of all time. They have a young rookie who we were very, very high on in Mason Graham. They have some other guys in their secondary that are very, very good. They have some weaknesses too, though. They have quite a few. So we'll get into that later. But I get what you're saying. I just look at Baltimore as just a team that, I don't know what it is, just always had our number. Like you remember a few years ago, they waxed our ass. The game was 35-0 before you could even take a breath. Before that, they came to Detroit, thought we had them on the ropes. You were there firsthand, jaw on the floor. Trying to think of the name of their kicker that just hit like an 87-yard field goal or something like that. What was the name of that? Yeah, Justin Tucker. Hand drop Tucker. Just booting in. I don't think he kicked the ball. I don't think he kicked the ball with his leg either, if I'm being honest with you, Will. 87-yard field goal for a walk-off win, heartbreaker. Just a team that we've always struggled with. And then going there, primetime, Monday night. Everyone saying that the Lions, were going to be picked. Everyone was picking the Lions to lose. Everyone was real high on Baltimore, saying that this game was going to be a shootout, but Baltimore had more weapons. And when I heard, I can't remember who said that. I'll find out. I'll find out who said this, who said Baltimore had more weapons. I said, you even familiar with the Detroit Lions? We got, how many weapons do you want to talk? They got Lamar, end of list. We got weapons for days. Like, I don't know. I have to go back. I don't want to say who it was and be wrong, but I will remember. I'll go back and get that information. But just a team that we struggle with, a team that's always just the model of consistency. They always draft well. They always play well. They play tough. went in there and beat them. So kind of a signature win. I know it's a team we don't play often. We only play them every couple years, but Super Bowl, San Francisco, let's do it. I'd be more than okay with playing Baltimore Ravens one more time for all the marbles.
Steve, I have some grievances about this football game, but I'm going to do nothing but enjoy this victory tonight. Maybe we'll get on tomorrow and talk about some of the grievances. I think there's some things that we need to take a look at for sure, get better at and mop up if we're going to continue to have success through the rest of the season. But I got a question before we get out of here, and I think that it's a very important question, and I need you to answer this question the right way. Are you going to share the ice cream that you won with me?
No.
Unbelievable.
With you? With you? Yes. I thought you meant with Kingston. Absolutely. And I'm gonna that's gonna be I don't care if it's $1 ice cream cone. I'm gonna enjoy it so thoroughly. It's gonna be like when I was in Iraq and I came back from a hot mission and it's 130 degrees and I'm dying, I'm dripping sweat, and I just got this nice tasty ice cream cone. And you know what? I might not even eat it. I might just throw it on the ground just out of principle. Just out of principle. I don't know. We'll see. Sharon, we'll share. I think we should both just remind this kid that, this is Detroit Lions. Why would you bet against us? Why on earth would you bet against the Detroit Lions? I don't know. No, I'm glad he had a good time. And I saw the pictures halfway through the episode. I didn't know you put them into the studio. Yeah. There's the hat, signature, Kirby Joseph. A little sweat on there, Kirby. Come on.
Yeah. It came straight off.
It's cool, though, that they spotted a kid in a Ravens uniform or a Ravens jersey and said, what's going on here? Let me check the dynamics. Let me get some more information and to give him a hat. If that doesn't turn him into a 93.7% fan, I don't know. Well, maybe he's a lost cause. Maybe you just leave him there in Baltimore and just send him money every month and just hope for the best. I don't know.
We'll see.
University of Maryland's not a bad school. I think he'd do well there. I think he might even thrive. So maybe he comes back with that doctorate that he's talking about getting. Nothing but success for him in Baltimore, but I'm not sure you can bring him home, William.
We'll see. We'll see what his mindset is when he wakes up.
Anything else for tonight?
No, man. Just get ready for tomorrow, man. We'll throw some grievances out there, some stuff tomorrow, and whatever else pops up news-wise. But we're gonna keep it positive for tonight.
Yeah. There's someone on the Lions I don't have nice things to say about. I'll leave it at that. Hell of a win, 38-30. I don't think the score was or the game was even as close as the score reflects. I think the Lions were halfway through that third pretty in control of that game. So hell of a win, 2-1, getting ready for Cleveland. We're not overlooking them. That's a scary team. I don't care what the record is. That's a scary, scary team. So we're going to be diving into some stuff. Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.